Hello, UFL fans, spring football fans. We're mercifully Week 10, aka Week 2 of the UFL spring season, preseason, is over. Now, I don't know where you guys live. Where I live here in New York, the weather was so bad that it actually made watching these games this weekend worth it. Because if I sit here now on June 1st, where the temperature should be right now about, I don't know, about 75 degrees, it's about almost 50. I still think I'm getting rain ahead. Let's see. What's the current temperature now? Yeah, 52 degrees. I mean, it felt like I was watching Week 7 of the NFL today. That's how the weather was. Which is good because the games this weekend were 3 to 4 were awful. I'm sorry. I should say 2 were awful. Those are the games we saw today. Friday's game with St. Louis and Washington, it wasn't entertaining because of the weather. Because I was getting the same type of weather up here. So I can honestly say I didn't ruin a Friday night sitting in the house on a terrible night. Yesterday, that Michigan-Houston game was pretty good. That was a good game. I mean, definitely nothing exciting about it, but I mean, it was good. I mean, you could watch the game. Today, we finished off. First of all, if you go on the UFL site right now, you can't even get the box scores for this weekend's games or today's games. That's how tight. That's what the UFL thought about the games this weekend. And I know they blew it. They got some work to do off season with how they schedule things. Let's talk about the first game, Arlington and San Antonio. First of all, good job on the San Antonio folks. 10,824 things today show up at the Alamo Dome. When you consider how terrible their season was, and them finishing today losing bad, and finishing the year 1-9 as the worst team in the league. I mean, they went from championship Sunday last year to being the worst team in the league this year. And they were the worst team in the league. Actually, Memphis is worse today. I'll give them credit for that one. But San Antonio gets the award for the worst team of the year by far. Yeah, good job on the Brahma fans. Listen, I hope next year you guys get Wade Phillips back. I hope you find a quarterback because you guys are one of two teams that really need a quarterback. Because with Jalen McClendon in Houston now, 6 of the 8 teams right now have a quarterback. The only 2 teams are the 2 teams with the worst records. Memphis, which I hope Justin was going to do better, but they're going to have to look for someone else. And also San Antonio. Sorry, Kellerman's not the answer. Hint, A.J. McCarron's still out there. Someone should give him a call. I'm still mystified by this. Anyway, I will go on. Brahma fans, you guys are really solid fans out there. And I would love for you guys to see how develop a real good team next year. And hopefully the league won't screw you by putting you on the road for the first 4 weeks of the season. And then screwing you in the home game because the league cannot schedule anything right. But for it looks like Luis Perez is going to be back next year. He says he still feels good. He loves what he does. Good. The league needs him. Hopefully Bob Stoops will be back next year. I'm surprised he had a leg injury today. He didn't even coach a game. Offensive coordinator Chuck Long took the interim coaching duties of the day. And listen, against the Brahmas, you don't really need a head coach anyway. Not the way this team has played. Anyway, the Renegades dominated this game. The first quarter looked like it was pretty good. Both teams were playing hard, but the second quarter came and the roof caved down in San Antonio. Figuratively speaking, of course. Luis Perez had another good game to the point that they yanked him out of the third quarter to give someone else a chance. And this was pretty much Arlington from the second quarter on. And Renegades finished with 5-5 for the year. The Browns finish at 1-9, and we don't need to talk about this game much longer. And we'll talk about the other game real quickly because this is not what we're talking about. It was a 42-9, and Birmingham beats Memphis, so they have managed to avenge one of the 3 losses they have this year. And if they win next week, they'll have a chance to win one of the 2 other teams they lost to this year, St. Louis or D.C. J. Smith is... All right, Skip Holtz, just say that J. Smith is your quarterback next week in the championship game. Because that's going to be a heck of a matchup between him and Bryce Perkins. Alex Magoo is inactive. I'm sure he'll be active this week as a backup role. We don't want to see Peasley as a backup next weekend. I'm sorry, he could be the 3rd string guy. Let's be real about this. But, you know, Skip Holtz managed. I'm starting to think Skip Holtz has a toy chest of quarterbacks. He just keeps all to himself because no matter who he signs, they end up being awesome anyway. So maybe I shouldn't go too hard on Peasley either. But my God, the Birmingham Stallions dominated this game. It was probably their best game of the year. Giddy up. They're in stride right now, literally, figuratively speaking. Those first 5 weeks were tough. But the last, seems like 3-4, they're on stride right now. And with Michigan losing the last 2 games, albeit yesterday's game was not important, and now Bryce Perkins having 3 weeks off, I am not sure if I want to face the Birmingham Stallions right now. But that should be a good game regardless, as well as the other game between St. Louis and D.C. But this was just a good old-fashioned ass whipping. Today's last game at Memphis might have been the worst, most boring game this year. Maybe there's one in week 1. I don't know. Someone remind me. But today's game was just unbearable. Like I said, the only reason why I stayed in to watch the house is because it wasn't even 60 degrees here in New York. I usually, at this time of year, I would take the top down the Jeep and go for a cruise. Go for a walk on the World Trail. Do something fun. But it felt like mid-October here. And I'm sorry. It should not be mid-October and June 1st. So, on top of that, I had to watch the Knicks lose last night at Buffalo Wild Wings. So, my basketball season's over. And I saw the Yankees get an ass whipping of 18-2 to the Dodgers last night. So, they're about to play in a few minutes. I'm hoping I win that game. At least take 1 of the 3 games to the dreaded Dodgers. But your comments down below. What's your opinion? Like to know what you thought about this weekend's game? Did you bother the week? The rain should be really interesting this weekend. I mean, they should be. I mean, Memphis to 4,500 people, which might be their final game. Michigan drew over 16,000, their best crowd ever this year or last year, the year before. Good job, Michigan fans. You are one of 2 teams this year, I think. DC might have been the other team that had an increase in attendance from the previous year. But Michigan definitely did. Good job to the Michigan fans here. And let's see. So we had those 2, the good crowd in Washington of 12-6 despite the ridiculous storm. 16,000 in Michigan. Yeah, we had 6,000 in Houston, which a little bit more than I thought they have. But they got some work to do, some marketing to do in Houston. And Memphis, of course, is a disaster right now. All right, comments down below. Mercifully, we're finally at the playoffs next week. Mercifully. I cannot wait because I felt like the last 2 weeks was a waste of our time. All right, everyone, for the love of football, we'll talk to you later.